What's going on, my good people? This your boy Life Up the Entertainer here to bring you some action between Lane College and Kentucky State University. This is going to be an interesting band battle between both of these bands. This will be my last thing I will be able to grade from Kentucky State University, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check real quick. Yeah. So this will be my last thing be grading for Kentucky State University. So I will be posting a final record at the end of this video. Alright? So shout out your school below if you want to comment, be a part of this family, please do so. But definitely like up the video because it helps boost the algorithm. Alright? So with that being said, we're grading their field shows. There was no fifth quarter or anything like that, but I was able to get these field shows. So I'm excited to see what this is going to look like. Okay, this is like my third time seeing Lane College, so I'm excited to see what they're going to put on the field. And this is going to be my second time seeing Kentucky State University. So, hey, some bands are gifted to get a lot more footage, some bands are not. But hey, I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. Alright, so with that being said, please look to the cards next to me so you know we'll be grading. We'll be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, and breakdown. Maximum points they can make in that is 25. I have a creative department. They can get an extra incentive of 5. So if they do something unique or death-defying on the field, that will help boost their record. So how do they get a dub on their record? If they are stronger than the other band, or if it's a tie. Okay? Now, there will be losses issued out in this battle. So, just because your band get a loss does not mean they can't do better next season or redeem themselves, okay? So, I'm excited to see what these bands are going to bring to the table. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please consider liking and subscribing, and let's get into the action. We're going to start out with Lane College because this is Kentucky State's home. So, we're going to do Lane's first, and then we're going to do Kentucky State's next. They shaking the camera. Must be stationary. So, creative, I'm going to give them a 4. Entrance is a 5. Songs, I'm going to give them a 5. Formations, I'm going to give that a 3. Dancers, I'm going to give that a 4. Breakdown, there was no breakdown.
Disappointing.
Alright? Not saying that it's not required to have a breakdown, but I just feel like with the length that they had of that field show, they could have gave me something in that nature. Okay? I just felt like it was just missing some substance. You know? That's just me personally. Formations, only reason why I gave formations a 3 because there was some 8 to 5 issues, and there was some people who were not picking their legs up. Okay? But like I said, dancers, they was doing good for the majority. It was the ending for me. This is a recycled field show. So what I would say when it comes down to a recycled field show, if I seen it the first time, I kind of got an idea of what to expect the second time I go around. So that's not me bashing Lane College. I think this is a strong band overall, but there's some things that needs to be worked on, definitely. They got a 21. I got a 21 on that field show. Not bad. Not bad. Alrighty. Moving on. If you made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. Alright? So we're getting into Kentucky State. This is my second time seeing Kentucky, so I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. Alright? So with that being said, let's get into the action.
Make Michael's your new balloon destination. Find a wide range of colors, styles, and even characters.
Nice little drill. It's a 8-5 issue there. We can do that. The fact that they're doing like a little soul train, like, hold on. That was pretty dope. that a grade. Alright, so breakdown, I'm gonna give them a 3. Even though it wasn't a breakdown feature, they gave me a little something in this area, so I'm not too mad about that. I'm gonna give them a 3 on that. Creative, I'm gonna give them a 4. Dancers, a 5. Formations, I'm gonna give them a 4. Songs, a 5. Entrance is a 5. Okay, so where do they lie? Okay, we're gonna find out in a second. Very entertaining field show. Very, very entertaining field show. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, let's give out those grades. Okay, so Lane College, they made a 21. Kentucky State, they made a 26. So, Weed 'em a Week, ladies and gentlemen, Kentucky State won this battle. Okay, so very interesting battle. I really enjoyed Kentucky State's field show. I like the little Soul Train line thing they did. Somebody proposing in the middle of it, so it had its moments. It definitely had its moments. So I was very excited for this field show, and it really delivered. Okay. One thing I would say, and what gave them the initial edge over Lane College, is that they actually gave me some sustenance with a breakdown, even though it wasn't a lot, but it was something. You know, it carried. You know, and you know their formations, even though they kind of struggled with a little bit of it, Kentucky State University's field show formations was slightly better than Lane's College. I can tell that they actually had their legs up. That's not me, you know, bashing Lane College, but I definitely think they need some help in that department. Okay, but Weed 'em a Week, ladies and gentlemen, I believe Kentucky State won this one. That's my verdict. This is their official record for the season. I have no true complaints about them as far as footage wise. I think this was a good watch overall. I enjoyed this just watching the video. It was very, very nice. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. I was only able to get two things for Kentucky State, but hey, it was strong. It was nice to watch them. They end up having 2 battles, and I'm not mad about that either. So, you know, they definitely be on my tier list, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do this upcoming year. So be looking out for that Seek tier list if y'all want to subscribe and be a part of this family. I'm finna get up out of here, man. That was a lot of band battles I graded. This was the last one for the day for me. So, I'm going to catch y'all Friday. Alright? So, with that being said, deuces.